rev up your engines. Today I'm going to show you how to fix an air conditioning system that's leaking out refrigerant. Now there's many ways of searching for leaks. You can even use dishwashing liquid, put it around stuff to see if it bubbles up. But the two best ones are using ultraviolet dye in one of these UV lamps or one of these sniffers that smells the leak. But as these sniffers are getting cheaper and cheaper, I'm going to use a sniffer today. Sometimes you use the UV dye. It all depends, but the sniffer is quick and fast. You don't have to inject dye into the system and then run it and wait till the dye comes out. If the refrigerant's leaking, this thing will smell it out. You might buy one, share it with your friends. You can all pay a little bit of it. Now the first thing to check with the sniffer are all the rubber hoses and connectors, because the rubber hoses can get old and then they just go through osmosis and the refrigerant leaks out through the cells, and the refrigerant can leak through walls of the rubber and kind of seep through, and this will pick it up. Or you check all the connectors, because often the connectors, the seals in them go bad. You turn it on, and when it beeps faster, there's a leak. So we'll check all the rubber lines first, and of course check the compressor. The seals often go bad on that, but that's not leaking either. Now sometimes rocks will hit the AC condenser because it's in front, way in front of the radiator, knock a hole. So let's check that. And sure enough, there's the leak. The AC condenser is the part in the front that takes the hot refrigerant and then sucks the heat away. It's a heat pump. And on this thing, I'm assuming a rock or something must have hit it because it's in the very front, right behind the grill. It happens quite a bit these days, especially with a lot of these trucks running around today with no backs on them and rocks come flying off them on the highway. And the reason I like using the sniffer is because, let's say we didn't find anything under the hood. Well, we can stick them in the AC vents inside the car. So if it was leaking in the dash, we can figure that out too. And if we had a dye, we wouldn't see it leaking in the dash because it's all inside. This will smell the leak. So it's actually the best first way to look for leaks. And now comes the real fun. This is the AC condenser. It's in here. We got to take a lot of crap off in order to get this thing to get it off. First we'll take the top bolts off the grill. So we put a ratchet on there and take that one off. And do the same thing on the other side. So both are off. And then on the very inside there's two more nuts you take off. Off they come. Little bitty tiny things. And with a little wiggling, out it comes. Now before we go any further, let's make sure the replacement one's the same. This is an automatic transmission, so it has automatic cooler lines here, which match up. And on this side are the AC cooling lines, which is over here. So it's the right one. Now we have to loosen the refrigerant lines. By law, you have to recycle the old refrigerant. In this case, hey, it's all leaked out. I got my gauges here and it shows 0 pressure now, so we don't have to worry about that. There's nothing in it. We'll just take it apart and put the new one on. Now it's often hard to get these cooling lines off for the transmission. So first thing we're going to do is squeeze it and pull it down. Now we have that line off, we can wiggle it and get it off. They can often be hard to get off, and since we're throwing this one away, I'm using a giant screwdriver and a hammer. Just stick it on top of that hose and hammer it. And now when you grab it with pliers, the rubber just wiggles back and forth. It'll pop up when you pull it up. And of course do the same thing on the other side to get that hose off. There's two, one in, one out. Then we remove all the brackets in the way. Then we disconnect the refrigerant lines. It's 13 millimeter. Then pull them apart and remove it. Now here's a tip. On the transmission cooler part, they come with these stupid spring clamps. They're a pain in the butt. Get screw clamps, slide them over the hoses before you put the new assembly in. Then you can put it together easier. And it'll actually be a lot easier if you ever have to work on it again and not have to mess with these cheesy little squeeze clamp and have screw ones instead. And the next trick is to get a little AC oil and lubricate the new seals before you put the condenser on them so they won't leak. Then you have fun wiggling the whole thing in. They, of course, don't make them easy. Then hook up the lines and get them nice and snug. And of course, don't forget to put the coolant hoses on here on the other side for the transmission. Now, of course, realize you have to evacuate the system with a vacuum pump before you fill it up with refrigerant. I have a whole video on this you can watch, but we'll start that now while we put the rest of it together, because you got to do this for about an hour and a half to get all the moisture out. As you can see here, it's starting to suck it all out. We want to do it for about an hour and a half or so to get all the moisture out. Moisture destroys AC systems. Well, time's up now. I put all the stupid pieces back on. And in this case, it takes 0.71 kilograms of refrigerant. You can look it up. Sometimes there's stickers in the cars, but they got rid of most of the stickers now because they're so cheap when they build things. And a good way to check to see if you got it fixed is watch the gauge once you turn the pump off. If it stays the same minus pressure, you know there's no more leaks. So we're adding the refrigerant until it says 0.71 kilograms here. And now with the car running, you can see it's filling it up. We just wait until it's 0.71. And there we go. Ha! Now it's got nice ice cold air. So the next time your car's air conditioner leaks all its refrigerant out, now you know how to fix it yourself. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.